Harry Kane is the Joel Embiid of soccer. There you go. Find out more soon.
Subscribe. Welcome back to another episode of the ridgewaypod. I'm your host Udoy, and I'm here with Ush today. Thank you again for joining us. Please hit that subscribe button. We are still 3 subscribers away from 60 subscribers. So we realized last time we said at the end of the pod, and maybe it'll work better if we say it in the beginning.
Of the pod, yeah.
So please hit that subscribe button. We're gonna be, we're trying to post consistently as possible. I think this is our third week in a row since we're back from vacation. So we're just trying to, pump these videos out. This is going to be a great episode. We're talking about the 2 finals for football that just happened, the Copa America and the Euros. And we can kind of dive into it. Let's go into the Euros finals, which had Spain and England, 2 heavyweights on name. Based on that, we kind of gave our previews, I think, last time. And Ush, how do you think your prediction went, my prediction went, or in general how the game went? You could start us off.
First of all, I just want to say that was actually a great game. Even though it wasn't a lot of action until the later half of the game, it was still really fun to watch. A lot of just randomness going on, especially with that English team. Like what we were saying in the previous pods where we were talking about, I was talking about how there's no cohesiveness and, they kind of play, they're just kind of playing solo ball all the time. It kind of showed again with this in this game. I think the stat spread was Spain had 63% of possession and England had 37%. They didn't even attack that well. I think they had only 30 attacks to enter the box or anything like that. Spain took 10 corners to England's 2. So everything that worked in England's favor in that semifinal matchup, where they're being aggressive, getting to the last third, all of it was taken away. Wonderful coaching job by
Fuente. Yeah.
He had just a great coaching plan. But honestly, I feel like it's more so on the fact that England just doesn't. It's been the same problems that's been plaguing them all throughout the tournament. They just don't play together. Their midfield doesn't set up anybody for any of their wingers or any of their or Kane in the striker. They have these roles where they have these attacking mid roles where it's a lot of selfish play going on. People are just trying to make sure their numbers look good or their passing possessions look good. Honestly, though, from the England side, I think the best player was probably Jude. Jude probably had the best game, other than Cole Palmer. If you want to talk about Cole Palmer real quick, he should retire from English football and never play there again, because there's no way you bench a guy this many times. After every time he comes on, he makes an insane impact. And you can say, oh, he has fresh legs, that's why he's making the impact. That all of his impact was not because he was just had more energy. He's doing everything that Foden and Jude and whoever else is playing that position can't do.
So what we want them to do. I think he's the only one that does it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's the only one that's doing it. He's making plays to get inside the box. When he's inside the box, he's looking for the right shots. And that goal was insane that he had. Crazy. So and then from the Spanish side, if you want to talk about it, congrats to them. Yamal, 16-year-old, 17-year-old, what a tournament from him.
Gets the assist.
I think he has I think he finished with the most assists in Euros.
In the tournament, yeah.
In the tournament,
well, I heard there's a stat where it's I think in almost every game, or in every game, I think he has to set a record of a goal or assist. I
think it was the knockout stage. And then he had a goal.
He just turned 17 right before the final.
Nico Williams finally woke up. He had a great game as well, especially with his matchup against Walker. I feel like though with the Spain team, obviously you can't really call him underrated anymore. He's getting Ballon d'Or shouts now, and he got player of the tournament and everything like that. Rodri, insane game again. The amount of defensive stops he has doesn't equate. I mean, it kind of seems like he's playing center back for that team. but he's not. He's playing CDM, but the amount of dropping back he does and the amount of defensive presence he had in that game, the offensive presence wasn't too crazy. Like I was expecting maybe a Rodri screamer to end it, like he has that luck in him. But his defensive presence, he like coached that whole entire defense. He made sure that Kane wasn't getting any type of pressure in the box. He couldn't even get to the center backs. Kane couldn't even get to the center backs.
Yeah.
Anybody who was working through the middle, anytime Jude or Foden or anybody else was trying to come, working through the middle, he's there with a block pass. He's there with a block shot. He's there making an interception. And then he had like this insane play right in front of the box. I forgot who went for the shot, but I think it was Bellingham. But
where
he came out of nowhere, and then he just stomped on.
So that was the one where insane. He got. I think his injury got aggravated even more, which was unlucky. But sorry, you want to finish your stuff, and then I'll
go ahead.
But pretty much jumping off the Rodri point, like that's when he gets hurt. You already talked about how amazing he is, and at that point we're like, oh, it's just their best player getting subbed off around like whatever halftime or
46 minutes.
Yeah. And it's like, wait, what are they gonna do? The glue guy that you just described, pretty much from offense to defense. And it's like Zubimendi comes in, and bro, that's why shout out to De La Fuente and the whole like coaching staff, because these guys are so like if England has no cohesion, Spain has all the cohesion. Like it doesn't matter like about egos or anything. Like Zubimendi probably believes if he's not the best, midfielder, CDM, whatever Rodri, the position he's going to replace he's probably the second best. And that's the level he played at. He's just like, there's no difference. Like everything just kept flowing, which is crazy to say, right? Like Rodri's like Ballon d'Or shouts and best player in the world talks and all that stuff. And this guy comes in and the team just like doesn't skip a beat. It just keep going. It was so good
with Navas in the France game. You know what I mean? Like, they just wanted to win more. It kind of seemed like next man up, they're ready to go.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing with, like, for example, Cucurella gets the game-winning assist to Mr. Ozymandias. Like, you know what I mean? Like that was, but like again, it doesn't matter. Like they're gonna make the plays happen. Quick shout out to the goalie Simone. Okay, like all tournament, solid, just like every other Spanish player. But this game, some of the passes he was doing, it just looks like
insane.
It just cuts through the wind.
It was all low. It was all low passes,
and it's just like to the guy, and it gets right to the Moratas. The if it's Dani Olmo or like Yamal, it's just like touch, and it's like perfect, right? Because the amount of like everything, physics behind it all, like to get the ball to that person, you need the power, but like not too much power, so your guy can actually take a touch and continue the play. Insane, like ball movement on him, like his ball at the feet goalkeeper. Like talk about that, like insane
ball playing keeper. Insane. That's how you. That's what you want. That's what you want to see from a ball playing keeper.
Yeah, because on the other side you have Pickford just blasting that. He's just blasting that shit like boom. Like it doesn't matter.
Honestly, Pickford had a pretty good game for a lot. Because the amount of corners he saved for that team, like it was impressive. He actually had a pretty good game. What are your thoughts on England?
For England, that's the thing. Like Kobe Mainoo, for example, then got played off the field. Unfortunately, like he's also a kid. He's like a wonder kid for United, and it's like, but that sub for Palmer was so perfect. But it's just like, again, they went on with this system, and I feel like that's the thing with England, right? And we're gonna get into like Gareth Southgate, but I think his whole tenure, it's just like we're gonna play safe and we're gonna play okay. But it's like you have all these world-class talents apparently, and you just can't, unlock them. Play freely, and that's just the saddest part about I think this England squad. Luke Shaw did really well for the first half. I think he was locked in. It was his first start in the whole tournament, and because he had an injury. But until the second half, you think things just unraveled. Like I don't know. I wouldn't say Lamine figured it out, but he definitely took his chances more.
He got tired. I feel like Luke's a little bit out of shape.
Yeah, it was just the out of shape thing. And that's the thing. Like I'm a big Foden fan, but even Phil Foden, it's like. They call him like Spanish English player, Brazilian. Yeah. He's Felipe Foden, right? And like when he plays for City, the Spanish team was right there, and he did not look like he belonged. You know, it's
at
like
all.
whoa. And that's the thing. And to be honest, I know you said Jude had a pretty okay game. To me, he was the same. It was mid. Like
Yeah,
at the end, like when they gotta wake up and they gotta score, like Cole scores that, like Jude gets the assist. And then Jude did that one spin move. I think those are the two moments I
yeah.
remember from the game. It's been like a week now. And it's like, but those are the moments I'm like, oh, Jude. And that's why I think I like to see Jude Bellingham play. Just this all action doing like a little bit of everything midfielder, like kind of up and down. And because he's so athletic and he can do all that. Like that's why he could score the goals, but he can also that one where he doesn't, he just left the ball for Palmer to come in. It was like it was an alley-oop, honestly. And Palmer just has one job to do. That's the thing. We didn't see a lot of that Jude this tournament. It's a lot of like I don't know like exactly, but it did feel like a lot of showmanship where it's like you're not that guy, pal. Like, well, you know, he's on the side and he's like, I'm gonna cross this ball in.
His success in Real Madrid this year was being a box crasher. Like that was that's where a majority of his success came from. And this whole entire tournament, anytime we saw success from him was when he's crashing the box. When
he's wearing number 10, but now he thinks I gotta play like
exactly
Mesut Ozil and all those number 10s and you know what I mean, like to wear the number 10. I'm Zidane. It's like, bro, you're not. And what got
your skill set is not that.
Yeah, stop trying to do that. Like you're starting. You're on this. You're one of the faces of this team for a reason. Play that position well and do your best. And the same thing with like I'll just touch on like Harry Kane, for example. It's like I do think he had a lot of like I think he was dealing with injuries too, because even with Bayern, after there was no chance of winning a trophy anymore, he didn't play the remainder of the games. He actually came back to London or England to like get his treatment from his doctor to be prepared and get ready for the Euros, which that's the thing. Like I don't think all the blame's on him. I know a lot of people are saying Harry Kane is washed, this and that. I honestly think Harry Kane still has like some good football left in him. Now, Ollie Watkins, the difference between Harry Kane and Ollie Watkins or Ivan Toney, I don't think is as big anymore. Like, you know what I mean?
Significant difference isn't that much
because of what those guys are bringing. So that's kind of like a bright star, right? You have Cole Palmer, you have Ollie Watkins. The core is still young too. Like the starters, like
really young.
All of them. So
I think Saka's like the oldest in that core.
Yeah, that's like what 23, maybe. I don't even know. Yeah, so it's just maybe Kyle Walker and Harry Kane are like the elder statesmen now of this starting lineup. So there's not a lot to tweak. It's just again, Southgate raised the floor really, really high from like 2018 tournament till now. But it's like 2 finals and you just can't get it done, and you look outclassed every single time in a way. That's the thing. Like and like the change happened, right? I don't know.
They had a great tournament. That's the thing, right? Like with we can go into Southgate here.
Yeah, I guess we should just jump into it. Like
you want to, but So the Southgate news, it's like it's the fact that like he's getting to the finals and how good of a team they are. But I feel like that's more of an indictment that they haven't won. You know what I mean? Where it's like they're making these finals while playing bad. They have maybe 2 good games the entire tournament. So it's like. They play the same way, they play nobody knows their role, first of all. So, and then nobody is enabled to play like themselves either. Like, if you want to compare this to a team, let's compare this to the USA basketball that's going on right now. Like, if you notice how USA basketball, like they've been just playing exhibition matches, but they're literally winning. They versed like all the best teams and they beat them by 30 already. It goes to show like, all the guys there, Ant, Booker, AD, Braun, Steph, all these guys are still playing the way they play basketball, the way they like to play basketball, the way they like to get their buckets, the way they like to impact the game.
What makes them succeed.
Exactly. Yeah. They're still playing that same way, but within the system, which is a shouts to Steve Kerr and George Hill and them, Grant Hill and them. That's the system that they're in retrospect with the English team, the system that they play, the system is very it's very defensive. It's very, like, okay, we'll hold our ground and then we'll spring for a counterattack or we'll get desperate and do some random stuff. Like there's not really a system.
Like no creation happening.
There's no creation. There's no way to play. Like when we watch that final, Spain was going on Nico's side, Spain goes on Yamal's side. Spain doesn't like to play through the middle as much.
Well,
they like to play through
the wings. They were trying.
You know what I mean? That's the these are the things that the coaches does. Like, look, we
Yeah.
have a game plan. Play
Oh
the
yeah.
game plan. If the game plan doesn't work, then we switch it. When Southgate gets into a game with England, there's not really a game plan. Their game plan is, hey guys, don't concede.
Yes.
Cool, but
Yeah.
then all this offensive talent you have, and they are heavy offensively talented.
Hmm.
None of their skills are being utilized.
Exactly. That's exactly the point. You hit the nail in the coffin, and I think that's why this change was needed. He, like, whether he stepped down, got fired, whatever the case may be, I think he's outstayed his welcome in a way, and they do need someone again. Like you said, whoever inherits this English team, it's a pretty fire job. To be honest, you're gonna the finals slash
Best
semifinals,
job in the soccer.
the finals and the semifinals is like a guarantee. Like that's your floor. If you're ceiling, you just win, bro. And someone might have said like the experience might have won over and beat the Spanish side. Maybe with beating this Spanish team, like maybe the lights would have been too bright for the kids, and it's like
Mhm.
they end up choking, which they didn't, and credit to them. So this English team, we all know they're not terrible, but they do get overrated by the media and this and that. But it's like, again, like, really, like, what other teams would you want? Like, other
That's
than like Argentina knows how
Can't
to
blame
win,
them. You know what I
Spain
mean?
knows how
Like,
to
yeah.
win, France, and then it's like the rest of them. It's like, take your pick. You probably go England, like, you know. So that's the thing about the Southgate thing. In terms of next managers, I know people are saying stuff like,
I've
uh,
seen Pep. I seen the
uh,
Pep rumors of like, oh,
yeah,
they'll wait out his contract and then they'll ask him to come.
yeah,
I
but
highly doubt Pep goes.
the thing is, there's literally 2 years or less than almost 2 years now till the next World Cup. So
They
you
need
need
one
someone in
ASAP.
there and like implementing their ways. And you don't get a lot of time with these guys, right? It's every couple of months. They all come to camp, boom, boom, boom. I will say, when it comes to international football, you don't need tactics as much as being a man manager in a way, and like
Yeah,
getting to these guys. So kind of like when Zidane took that Real Madrid team and they three-peated, it's like, yo, you guys
exactly.
all know how to play, just little tweaks and just do your thing, right? And that's why someone like, for example, I know like Tuchel is on the market. Like he's a great, I feel like, tournament coach, like tournament
Mhm.
manager, right? Like for a whole 38 game season, maybe it's not his forte, but a tournament, a cup you need to win, like that may be someone you could look at. But I know they're gonna also look at like the Eddie Howe's, Graham Potter's, the under 21 coach for England, like he's like hooping. So it's like, oh, could this be a thing? And it could be a recipe for success because De La Fuente, he was the under like 17 coach and for Spain, and then he was the under 20 something coach, 21 coach, and he now got the full time like the head coaching job for the men's team, and he won all 3 Euros. I think that's like
Even
just
Scaloni wasn't a coach and nothing.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
Like,
sometimes it could work
he's
out.
been
You don't
some
need
youth
a
things.
crazy track record to
Yeah,
do that. You don't need to necessarily have like Jurgen Klopp, who is on the market too, right? So I think, again, like, even like, 'cause I saw something. Oh yeah, like I was watching. Funny enough, shout out to SDS the other day, and they brought up Frank Lampard coaching them. Like it's crazy because obviously his like club stint has been pretty mediocre and awful. But it's like, what if they look up to him? It's like oh, that's Frank Lampard, English legend, Chelsea legend. Just play for him. It's like, and he knows how to talk to the guys because he's like, yo, I've been there, like this and that, goal scoring midfielder. Maybe he has some insight he can give to Jude and the Fodens and these midfielders that like to play offensively. So it, again, I don't know who it is. I think it's still early. I don't, like you said, it's like, what if you wait for Pep? But who
Mhm.
knows? But that's kind of quickly, just before we, I guess, move on. Taken since the beginning of 2023, Rodri has won twice as many trophies as he's lost football matches, and it's 8
Holy
trophies
shit,
to
dude!
4 losses.
He's 4 losses in 2 years, basically.
Oh
That's
yeah,
fucking
like
nuts.
yeah. Since the beginning of 2023 to like a year and a half, he's won
That's
8
insane,
trophies and
dude.
lost 4 games,
He just
bro.
don't. He don't lose. He don't know
Bro,
how to lose.
he's Michael Jordan,
He
bro.
don't know how to lose, dude. He's
Wow, that's
freaking
crazy.
Holmes out there, bro. Like he just
Yeah,
doesn't.
Mahomes, like he's yo,
Holy
shout
hell,
out
man!
Ballon d'Or shout right there, yo. Like just
That's
give
Ballon
that
d'Or right
stat.
there. I will
That's
say
a
one last thing about that England team is, well,
yeah.
one thing about Southgate is, I love. I'm like, if I was to pick a Prem team, it's City, right? So I'm a City fan. I watch a lot of the games. I love Kyle Walker, bro. There was no. I don't think like there was no reason to play Kyle Walker this tournament. I feel like
No.
I think like Trent should have been playing, dude. If you don't have any offensive creation, put Trent in. He's gonna create some offense for you,
Right?
dude. He's insane. And don't put him in midfield. Put him in the back. Put him in that
Where
position
he wants, where he can
and
play.
let him cook, bro.
What have we
Especially
seen
the
for the
long
last
balls.
6 years?
Like, come on, dude. Especially the long balls to get the ball rolling, because dude, they can't get anything going through the middle. Then why don't they play? They refuse to play from the wings too. I don't understand why. But other than playing through soccer, and it's like, okay,
and look
play
what
soccer,
happens when they try it.
play soccer and Trent, like, do it. But
especially both of them, like on the right side, like maybe
like,
they can just complement each
and
other.
they can play. And we just seen soccer play back. So like, they can for sure switch off if need be. I think Trent could have helped a lot. Especially with how much Kyle Walker didn't help this tournament. We see the lowlights and everything on Twitter, dude. Like the fact that he didn't even sub him in. Last game.
That's the thing too. Like, and then I remember one of the games, I forget which one. It was before the Netherlands one where they're just spamming crosses in. I'm like, wow, if only you had like probably the best crosser in the world on your bench.
It's always Kyle Walker crossing it.
That side.
And every time he crosses it, it's a gripe as City fans have is, bro, this guy's just going to the opposite side of the box. And he's booting it. He's just booting it every time.
Yeah, like
he's had like one good pass in 2 years. Like, please, like,
No, that was
like,
ridiculous.
if you're gonna play that way, if you want your right back to move up, put in Trent, man. He'll do it better.
Like, and it's not like defensively, it's like, whoa, like this crazy master class is going on. No, and you need goals, man. Everyone who you verse arguably is like is the inferior team to you, England. So take the thing to them. Imagine if you're the Warriors in like basketball, right? And it's like, yo, I'm gonna like just chill out and not shoot threes. I'm not gonna like the prime
KD, Curry, and Clay.
Let's take a bunch of mid range.
You guys score first.
Yeah. Let's play some mid range. You know what I mean? Here, Draymond, shoot the first 7 threes, and then we'll catch up.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Why are you blessing them with 0-0? Like, that's the thing. So, I don't think the tweaks are gonna need to be crazy. It's just they just need someone to talk to them to what to do.
I think it's philosophy and just some lineup changes.
Yeah,
and getting everybody to buy in. Just have a philosophy for your team. Like, you have to have an identity. I always say this for hoops. What is your team identity? First, for every sport, it's like this. What is your team identity? You work off that identity, you'll see some success. Yeah. And England already has success. They just want to win. They just need to win at this point.
No, 1,000%. You just gotta win. You're always it's like Jason Tatum. You're always in the conference finals, bro. Just win one time.
Exactly.
So and for the Spanish team, don't change anything, bro. Spanish football is back, and they're just gonna get better. This kid was 17. Nico Williams might go to Barcelona. There's a lot of good things. Roger might win.
They said the deal's already done. Like,
there's so much good things happening. You just keep doing your thing. Like, it was a joy to watch. I'm glad the best team won. In a way, football won because it's like that was justice. Like they took advantage of everything that was given to them and then some. So shout out to the Spanish team. That was Euros 2024. Moving on to Copa America on the other side of the world, Copa America 2024, we had Argentina and Colombia. Basically, the two best teams. Argentina being the best team in the world, essentially, that people are calling it.
Dynasty secured, by the way.
You can't say not. Like,
dynasty. Right? There's only one team that's better than them in history of the world. And that's 2010 Spain. Like, that 2010 Spain era. That's the only team that's better. Just because they have better players. Trophy-wise, they're all the same. Trophy-wise, they're all the same.
It's like, we got that thing too, Like, that's what they're saying. So,
what a game, by the way.
That game was insane. It was very back and forth. Okay, first of all, it didn't start until like friggin' like 2 hours past the time because of all the security issues, the fans crashing out in the.
Can we talk about that real quick? Like,
that's crazy.
How insane! Like, I don't give full blame to the States because some of these fans are crazy, but like, what are you people doing? I seen a video of people like trying to sneak in through the vents and stuff like that. Like, what are y'all doing, man? Like, I get it. Like, it's a big game and all, but like, can y'all chill for a bit? I know Miami got a huge whatever population, South American population. Like, bro, like, chill out, man. Like, people are getting hurt and shit. Like, you don't need to do all that, man. Like, we had a nice setup in our backyard with a projector. We watched the game over there. Mosquitoes killed us, but that was fun. Speaking about the game though, first of all, had Colombia had pressure there the entire game. I felt like Argentina like
You're kind of Floyd Mayweathering it.
Yeah, they were just playing very defensive and like even all the attack the first half of the game. The second half had really changed, but all the attacks that they were trying to get going, it just wasn't working. Especially Messi was just looking really off. And then he got hurt. Obviously, remember he played. I think he played another 20 minutes after he got hurt or something like that.
Yeah,
like
and his ankle got
But during that second half is where Argentina really took over. I feel like they found something because the pressure that they started mounting, they had more shots on target.
Everything.
The possession switched, the passing, everything went Argentina's way. I think all of Colombia's pressure came from that. Like the stats won't show it, but all that Colombia pressure came from that first half and the end of the game when like Colombia was just like, it
was a back and forth.
The pressure, trying to get a crazy goal in or this, that, whatever. But honestly, big shouts out to what's the guy's name? The guy who made the tackle, who came in.
Paredes.
I passed it to thing.
Paredes did the tackle. Lo Celso did the pass, and Lautaro scored 3 subs. Like that's called Scaloni. That's called master. That's coaching.
Insane.
Like
Paredes was on the bench when Messi went to the bench.
And
he was like, patting him, hugging him. Messi started crying, obviously, because he's like, dude. And then he came on, made the most insane slide tackle.
Yeah, he became Rodri.
Basically. Then made a beautiful pass to Celso, and then Celso found a perfect pocket for the Golden Boot winner and the new most underrated player in the world, Lautaro Martinez. First of all, let's talk about his season itself. Lautaro had like one of the best seasons in Serie A. I think he was Serie A goal scorer. Top goal scorer. And then he came into this tournament top goal scorer, especially all the slander we've given him over the last 2 years. Since the World Cup, the World Cup, people were calling him the full head of hair Higuain. He doesn't have the bald spot or the stomach, but he still plays like him. But dude, he made up for it like abundance of time.
Oh yeah.
He
paid back all of it.
Everything.
He paid back everything.
And
here, I just pulled up
his stats.
Yeah, like for this season alone, I think. Yeah, you think he had like 24 goals and like 6 assists for Serie A. So like overall it was 27 and 7. That was his season. Like it was insane. They win the league, and then like you said, he just paid back. He repaid his debt essentially for all those misses in the World Cup final. But yeah.
Oh, and then the other shout out is Dibu. Like, holy hell, what a game from him, man. He every time I think like, oh, this is not like, okay, he might not be the best keeper in the world. Like, there's probably somebody better than him. No, man, I think it's a foregone conclusion until a big club signs him and then he can show it there as well. He is the best keeper in the world. I don't think there's like nobody like who's coming close to him right now. The clutch gene that he has is just, it takes his skill to another level. Like he doesn't have crazy passes or like the best IQ or anything like that, or like the way he ball plays or his position, the way he can set up a wall. Like, but the amount of insane saves he has, or the amount of like
positioning.
Like when like in hoops when we're like talking about like when someone just skies for a rebound and it's like, whoa, like damn, that's a crazy rebound. Big board. And with 3 people in front of him, the amount of corners he has, the amount of corners teams have, where like they have perfect positioning. Like none of the Argentinian players are in the right position, and
or too short.
Exactly. Or he'll just like his somebody's knee is in his chest, and he is catching that ball, and he is not letting it go. And he's so good at playing the mind games. He knows how to play with the refs. We saw it at the end of the game where from like 100 to like 105 or something.
Yeah,
like. They were just, or like 120 to 125. They were just, like something happened and he was just stalling for like 5 minutes. He's so good at that stuff. What about you? What are your thoughts? I think what a win.
So it's funny because Argentina, I think they're at this point where, if you don't like a team and they always choke and this and that, don't ever, but they always get to like the finals, or like they're a good team, but but you just don't maybe prefer them. Don't ever let them win, because once you
Yeah.
let them win, it's like the floodgates are gonna open, and like how I feel about the Boston Celtics, where it's like Tatum and Brown got one. The league is now on notice because they now know what it takes to win. Like every other great, to be honest. This Argentina team, when they won Copa America, bro, like again on paper, people kind of will probably forget about what they have on what they have on this team, because it's like it's like a lot of names that are like kind of average in a way. And then I know people only bring up the names when they're in like doing the whole like Messi Ronaldo debate, and they'll be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, but you had Sergio Aguero and Angel Di Maria and blah. So like they just throw out
Enzo Fernandez.
yeah, like they'll throw out the names because
You
of
do
the
not
club
want
they play
Enzo.
for. And no, they're good. Sergio Aguero is
Yeah.
an all-time Premier League thing, but it's like out of context, because it's like, okay, but for Argentina, what did he do? And it's like somehow that was Messi's fault, maybe, whatever. But honestly, so solid. Like I know you really like Christian Romero,
I
and
think he's one of the best center backs in the world. Like,
no, you
I
want
think
that.
he's.
There's so many guys on this team where you want them on your team. Like
Yep.
you might, they're like shithousery when you're against them, like the Dylan Brooks and Draymond Green. But when they're on your team, those dogs, like
Dude, Rodrigo De Paul is basically the Dylan Brooks of soccer. Like he is the most like annoying
polarizing.
player
Yeah,
to watch play.
yeah,
For being an opposing opponent.
yeah.
But he on your team for the Argentina squad, he doesn't do anything fancy. He just always. I don't know if you saw this clip going around on Twitter where it's like he goes to press a goalie, like he goes to press the goalie, and the goalie's obviously passing it off, and the amount of it's all effort. There's no skill involved here. There's no how good is he at soccer. He's not world class. The amount of effort he puts to run all the way to the right side where the right or the left back is chilling there, and go cover them to make their pass annoyed, pressure them. That's what you call ball pressuring, by the way, not whatever these new strikers be doing and new midfielders new forwards be doing. Like they just be kind of like, hey, how's it going? Okay, cool. No, he's like running around. He disrupted the whole. He disrupts any type of play that they want going, and his role is literally like look, when I'm when Messi's on the pitch, you got to be Messi's pressure as well. Messi's going to pressure as much as he can, but you got to do that, and that's all effort. That's
1,000%.
You have to buy into that, and that's the entire team. We've seen Tagliafico making crazy little dribbles, down the line, like
those runs,
like everybody these guys are all they're all buy-in. They all want to win, so they'll do whatever it takes to win. They're all Derek Whites. They're all those type of players. Like they're just grinders, Bruce Browns. Like Aaron Gordon types. Like they're not the best players. They won't ever be an all-star, but they do everything that it takes to win.
Yeah, and you have so many of those mentalities, I feel like, which is like, it's crazy. And it's like, even McAllister, and like I know the Julian, I feel like, was really quiet this tournament, and he wasn't the same Julian that we saw in Qatar World Cup. But it's like the effort can't be questioned. It's like at the end of the day. And I just wanted to make a parallel comparison here. Argentina might look like they're kind of, they set up like that 4-4-2 traditional old, like early 2000s style, and it's like they pick their moment, but when their moment comes and they're all positioned so perfectly, it's like it's perfect one touch, like kid soccer or kid football, where it's like boom 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 boom, like exactly where they're gonna go and you can't do anything. They're going way too fast. Whereas England, it's like pragmatic, right? But it's like when they get the ball, they don't know what to do with it. That's the difference. Argentina, it's like, maybe we're not going to go crazy every single play because we're trying to find the perfect moment where you're out of position.
They clearly know, like when they're in a certain formation, like in the midfield, they clearly know, because we've seen this a lot during the game as well. We mentioned it during the game where we're like, where are these passes going? Yeah. But I feel like this is a thing that Scaloni has coached them up, where when they know where to put the ball. You have to be there. You have to be there. Yeah. So like, and then when it all syncs up, we get a goal like the goal that we got in the final.
Right?
It's all like okay, like Lo Celso probably knew. I mean, what's it called? When Paredes made that tackle, he probably knew where it probably not even Lo Celso. He didn't know what player was going to be there. Someone's going to be there. Yeah. And then at the same time, I know for a fact, Arturo's like, Lautaro was like, "Oh, I'm making this run because I'm getting the ball here."
Yeah.
Like these are things that these are like set design plays that they
Yeah.
have. It's like a like a football play that they drew up, like an
Yeah.
NFL
It's like,
play
yo,
that they
cover
drew up.
one.
Yeah,
Like,
like
it's just
exactly.
like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
no,
like,
for
yo,
sure.
I have a zone beater right now. Like this is what we see. This is they all read the pitch like they're viewing it from top down, which is so impressive to watch. It takes a little bit of time for it to like click in, but once they get that policy set, the how fast the goal comes, it's insane. It really takes like 4 seconds, boom, goal.
Yeah. And that's the thing with Colombia, I think, forced the pressure early, but I think to their like disarray at the end, because it's kind of like in boxing where like you try to get the quick knockout, but now or UFC, it's like you used up too much of your ammo, like your stamina, and that's why at the end of the half, especially right before Messi got injured, it's like Messi himself and everybody was kind of waking up and they started forcing the agenda, and then
Diaz literally died. Like,
and then it carried on the second half, where it's like, well, and then Colombia was shot. Like Colombia, I think, was just shot by extra time, and Argentina's like bench, like their depth, what they had versus Colombia's bench, like two different stories, right? Like, I'm sorry, like, James played like a world class player. Luis Diaz, you have like all those guys, and Richard Rios, but
Luis
it's like
Diaz had his worst game. I feel like that was his worst game of the tournament, dude.
But it's just like you only after that, when you go to the bench, whereas they're looking to the bench, it's like you still have a serviceable Otamendi. If your defense is tired, throwing Otamendi in to close out the game. Lo Celso for Argentina, I know for Tottenham it's been very like up and down, but for Argentina, he's been crazy, and he was very vital in the last Copa America. Yep. He was injured for the World Cup, so a lot of people forgot about him, and look at him coming off the bench. Nico Gonzalez, shout out to him. He had to freaking do the craziest replacement. He replaced the country's GOAT. And this is the thing. There's another shout out to Scaloni and those guys. This Argentina squad, they really was like, okay, we're solid, but Messi is like the step up, and like Di Maria is like step up, but Messi's like the gem that could do something when we're all kind of lost. They lost that piece. So now it's like, these teams are equal now in a way, right? Like the way Colombia is playing versus Argentina without Messi, everyone's going to think that. And they're like, no, we're winning it. And obviously, the injury happened. Insane. Like I heard that on the bench, even Julian Alvarez said, like, they all heard him, like Messi and Scaloni talking, and Scaloni's like, yo, you want to get out? Because like, I'm sure it was ballooning up the freaking ankle. And he's like, until I like fall, until I can't go on anymore, don't sub me off. Like that's when you sub me off. Yeah. And it's a belief. It's like your adrenaline is going. They came on, he played for a couple more minutes, and then it's like, again, he fell, and it's just like he couldn't get up. And obviously that's emotional. You're 37 or whatever, 36, and you're just like, yo, is this it?
Like, I tweeted, I was like, like, I don't think it was because just the injury and just playing in the finals. I think he realized that, like, damn, like I can't be Father Time. Like, like he's beating my ass, man. Yeah. Like, dude, like, come on, dude. Like, all throughout this entire tournament, he's been dealing with injury,
or nagging,
especially stuff. A lot of the nagging injuries that usually comes with age. Like, the amount of work these guys put in.
Yeah.
Like the body is gonna eventually give up. Like, it's an engine. The engine gets old. But like Messi, I feel like why he started crying mostly was like damn, like like, do I even like have any more after this?
Yeah,
and you seen the foot, bro. That thing was messed up. It looked like my ankle when I broke it. Like, it was messed up.
And the environment, and like if you see the video, it wasn't that the guy fouled him. Like his other leg, if you look, it went like fully, like turned fully, and it's like, oh yeah. And shout out to, but like, okay, so like just to end on the Messi note, we didn't get any news of retirement, nothing about that. So I mean, he could be, he'll always be contemplating retirement now. His life, career wise, it's all set. Everything he got, everything now is just a cherry on top. So, but like Di Maria, that was his last game for Argentina. Country legend. Like honestly, obviously for club, we know what he's done. But bro, the amount of times, this is like the first
player ever.
Yeah, and like he was trying to make plays happen. He gets to end on a high note, man. Like like what else can you expect? And that's the thing. Like him and Messi's been through it since like the 2008 Olympics.
Yeah,
like, they've just been 2007 Copa, I think, to '08 Olympics, like when they were kids till now, they've experienced it all together. And
I think
yeah, man,
I think he
shout
has
out to
four final goals, like 4 goals in the finals, which is
yeah,
insane, bro.
big
Like,
shot Rob, big shot Di
yeah,
Maria.
he's so clutch, bro.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Shout out him. What a career, what a
yeah,
career.
yeah, in
In
all,
Real and PSG, everything that he's done.
yeah,
You know,
magic. No, he's been. I think he has one more year
there
left
was
in
like a Hall of Fame,
Benfica.
he'd definitely be first ballot. But yeah,
Yeah, I think he has one more season in Benfica, and I
yeah,
guess he's gonna call it quits. But it's like you know when to go out, and it makes sense. I think for this Argentina team, they're just in this like honeymoon phase. They're all like the core is strong. They have a great coach, international manager, and everyone just we all know they also played for Messi. Like Paredes even said apparently that like he was obviously comforting Messi, but he didn't look at him because he knows if he sees him crying, he's gonna break like
yeah.
emotionally. And he's like, no, he's gonna stay locked
Dude,
in.
when Lautaro scored, where did he go? He went
Yeah,
straight to Messi after he scored that. He
even
didn't even go
also,
cheer. They went straight to Messi. Kissed him on the head, hugged him, and said, "All right, let's go back.
let's go back. Like
Let's go win this shit."
and
Yeah,
that's what you were talking about. Like it's so it's easy to make these comparisons, but it's like look at what they're willing to do for Messi, and it's like that's why I question the Portuguese players, right? And
yeah,
it's a dynamic, right? Like Portuguese world-class players like Cristiano Ronaldo, like sometimes you're like, oh, can football sometimes football, international football made Messi suffer a lot. So now he's like ending it on this note. So that's why like it's kind of the opposite over there. You already mentioned it in our previous episodes. So yeah, that was like 2 episodes ago. Go watch that video if you guys want to hear that take. But it's another example, right? And yeah, so
last
shout out
thing
to
about
Colombia.
Messi.
James. Oh, sorry, go on. Last thing about Messi.
Last thing about Messi is if you're gonna retire, bro, don't retire yet. Just play that finalissima game, so then you can pass the baton off to Yamal. Like we need that.
Insert Shawn Michaels. I'm sorry to Ric Flair, and it's fine. Insert Shawn Michaels thing to Ric Flair when he's like, "I'm sorry," and then he switched music to retirement. Yeah, the same thing. So Yamal versus Messi. That's gonna be crazy. Like the last time they saw each other, like he was giving him a bath. So it's like, like it's true. That's hilarious. No, in a way, it's like for Barcelona fans like myself, it's been a good summer so far. Like,
dude, it's
Spain won here, cool. Like again, when it comes to Europe, I don't have like like ride or die for a team, but it's like if you're Barcelona, Spain, the connection was there. Xavi, Iniesta, all of them carried it, so it's like cool. I'm not mad. Lamine Yamal, Barcelona player, winning, getting his career going. Messi wins here. It sucks. Brazil is in the dumps right now. I hope they recover. Like Brazil's my team. But like for Messi, it's always like happy for Messi.
Yeah.
Once Messi goes away, it's kind of like all right, back to the regular program. But so it's kind of it's been cool. It's been cool.
When Braun retire, I'm out.
Yeah, right. So and I think that's for Copa. James Rodriguez won best player of the tournament. Shout out to him, well deserved. I know you made a good case for Dibu winning it because like it's like the winning team and low-key, it's not like
Dude, he was our best player. I mean, he was their best player.
Bench. There's a lot of weird semantics in a way, and it's like, well, Dibu's consistently starting and carrying and penalties and this and that. And
when was the last time Dibu had a bad game for Argentina? Like, you know what I mean? Like when he directly caused them to lose. Like, he doesn't have that. And I'm not just saying like when was the last time he had a good game? No, when is the last time he had like a decent game? Like he has great games. That's all he performs for Argentina. Every time he puts on that jersey, he puts a 10 out of 10 performance on.
Yeah, no, insane. And James won player of the tournament, but I think that made sense because
it did.
If I forgot about James for a bit, so I was just like, maybe Dibu will get it, and then I remembered, and I'm like, no, it's totally justified. He won like
he had
all those man of the matches awards, most assists, and he carried this team to glory as far as he could. So yeah, it was a cool tournament. Obviously, America has like the states have a lot they can learn from in terms of hosting this big tournament because the next one's going to be insane. So
change the pitches, man.
Hopefully they figure that out. Yeah, and so okay, so I was thinking, should we go into the free agency now, or should we kind of wait till next episode to kind of like really dive into it? I was wondering.
No, we can wait till next episode because like when everything gets settled,
or like the more stuff.
Yeah, more crazy shit happens.
Obviously, the Mbappe news finally broke, and I'm sure we have a lot to talk about that, and it's gonna be a lot of takes.
Bro was mimicking Ronaldo, man. Like
You
Get
pulled
out
the
of here,
Jason
bro.
Tatum essentially. We'll get it more into it. Yeah, we touched on Southgate news. I think that was important for international football. Our next football episode is probably gonna we're gonna go slowly go back into club football, and that's pretty much gonna take us for till like the next year essentially. Whenever we do talk about football. And yeah, I guess Olympics are coming up soon. So
Yep.
we're gonna the exhibition games are going on. The teams look kind of fun, like not just Team USA. Like that's a whole Avengers situation, but it's like, oh, what is Wemby gonna do? Is Jokic gonna do something? Because at the end of the day, he's a crazy floor raiser. So who knows?
Is Giannis gonna win? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
we go far.
yeah.
We.
It's
I feel like
interesting.
especially with Giannis, like I know this is soccer pod. Just quickly,
Yeah,
especially with Giannis, like I feel like we haven't seen him play in so long. So it's like
yeah.
it kind of
Oh
feels
yeah,
like like I want to see like he's easily top 2 player in the league. Like bro, we got to see. I want to see
yeah.
bro play again.
Remind
So
everyone. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I think we still have, even though like we're kind of in the dark days of summer, we're pretty much in it now. I feel like we'll still have a lot more to talk about. Let us know if you
And
have any.
August is right around the corner.
Oh,
NFL training camp starting soon,
literally. So we'll start
and
ramping
that's
that
when
up.
we're really locked
Oh,
in.
and like Prem and all the soccer leagues come
Yeah,
back in August, like mid-August.
yeah,
So it's not going to be too long of a wait, which is
yeah,
crazy. That shout out to these tournaments for carrying us. So
yeah,
like the
for
wait
real.
is not long at all. And let us know if you have any topics you want us to cover, and we'll definitely look into it and try our best to get that out. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. We're gonna try to be consistent as possible. And yeah, this has been the Ridgeway Pod with the Ridgeway Boys, and see you next
Peace.
time.
Peace. Harry Kane is the Joel Embiid of soccer. There you go. Find out more.
Yeah.
Tune in.
Yeah. Subscribe.